Okay, what we're about to work on is we're working on a little bit of breath work and some postural restoration exercises to help kind of incorporate reducing that kind of anterior pelvic tilt where we have that high arch and to improve diaphragmatic breathing. So for this particular exercise, you just need something as simple like as a chair and maybe an exercise mat if you don't have carpeted floors. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down on your back and you're going to prop your legs right up on that chair. Okay, and I want to try to keep a little bit of a 90-degree between my knee and my hip in reference to my body. At this point, what you want to be aware of is how flat is your back. So you want to be flat all the way from like the pelvis low back area all the way up into the rib cage, flat and flushed up against the floor. What you don't want is like a big gap where you can kind of slip your hand underneath. So reposition yourself however you can so that you can get yourself flat. What I don't want is I don't want you to suck your belly button in and tighten your core to try to smash your back into the floor. It should be a comfortable position. I should be able to fall asleep if I lay down. So you don't want to have a lot of tension to try to achieve it. Just reposition yourself so that your rib cage is flat on the floor. Once you're in this position, let's say that what we're trying to address is we want to get a little bit of that full body expansion with our breathing, where I want the floor to tell me that I'm breathing into the floor. I want to feel my ribs expanding out into the side, and I want to feel my ribs breathing into the ground. Now, if you don't, and let's say that I am a person who tends to have an arch in my back even when I'm laying flat, is that when I breathe now, I'm going to feel it all maybe just in my stomach, or maybe I only feel my chest moving and rising when I'm breathing, or every time I take a breath, my back and my ribs kind of come off the floor a little bit. We call that kind of a seesaw pattern, and that's all because my pelvis is just kind of tilting forward, creating an arch every time I breathe. So this exercise is to try to correct that breathing pattern. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you bend your knee and you're going to push into the chair. Once you do that, that's your hamstring engaging, and your hamstring attaches from your knee all the way to your ischial tuberosity, your sit bone, and it acts to bend your knee. But I can also think about how it attaches to my pelvis here. Instead of activating my hamstring where I feel it all at the knee and the pressure of the knee bend and my tendons at the knee, what I really want you to think about doing is engaging those hamstring at that ischial tuberosity, that sit bone, so that the pelvis kind of rolls and lifts a little bit. And I should feel that now if I had an arch that it kind of flattens a little bit. So I want that hamstring activated, but not because I'm pushing down in the chair. I almost want to feel that the hamstring is pulling and rolling my pelvis up to help me keep my back flat on the floor. And I'm going to keep that contraction of my hamstring. And once I know that, I'm going to do a breath check, and I should feel that I can more easily breathe and have my back expanding into the ground. And so if you're breathing and you can finally feel that, what I would like for you to do is you're just going to take 10 deep breaths. You're going to hold that hamstring contraction so that your pelvis stays in that neutral position in line with your rib cage. And once you take 10 breaths, relax that hamstring, let the legs rest a little bit, but no more than 20 to 30 seconds before you try to contract them again to roll that pelvis flat, and you'll take another 10 breaths. For this exercise, I would like for you to try to do it daily if you can, but at least 5 days out of the 7 days out of the week. And you're going to do 3 to 4 sets of 10 breaths per set. So remember, between each set of 10 breaths, you're going to rest those hamstrings. Don't try to hold the hamstring contraction the whole time, but let it rest. And when you're ready for your next 10 breaths, engage those hamstrings again. Okay? All right. Thank you.